Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and if you didn't know, I'm actually all the way on my way over to the UK, and I'm going to England and Ireland and Scotland. So I wanted to make this really quick, short thing right before my conversation with Jagoda, which I did a week ago actually, and I'm very excited to showcase that with you. Jagoda's a great guy. And I'm very excited to showcase that. But the reason I'm doing this real quick is because I'm actually gonna not really be on social media too much. I might pop in to promote this, but when I go on vacation, I like to kind of get off and kind of just enjoy the sights and enjoy the people I'm around. So that's what I'm going to plan on doing. So if you see this in some promotions, that will be cool. Jagoda, I know will promote it as well, and I'm super excited for you to get the conversation. There's going to be another great conversation in a Sunday prior to when this is coming out with another great guy that I'm also going to put out there. That I'm still not going to be here in the States when that comes out, but very excited for that. So yeah, this week is going to be a little bit shorter, video content because I'll be I'll be overseas, and so I'm going to be filming quite a bit of things over there. Don't worry, a lot of this footage is going to probably happen after the fact, but anyway, I wanted to share that with you before we jump into that. So yeah, now let's just jump right into the film journey for Jagoda. So I hope you enjoy it, and let me know what you think of it down in the comment section down below. Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're continuing on with the film journey series, and this time we got my good friend Jagoda Blue 7, right? Did I get all that? Is there a 0 in there?
No, that's a 7.
Yeah.
I wanted to just be Jagoda Blue, but YouTube didn't allow me to keep that. Someone stole it from me first, so I had to throw a number in there.
Well, I'm glad to finally talk to you. I've seen you lurking around
Absolutely.
Instagram for a bit, and I've known you in the space for a second, but it's nice to finally get a chance to talk. So,
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for having me, man. Good, good. It's almost Friday, so I don't know. I'm always usually happy when Friday kind of comes around. So
I'm happy that it's almost Friday too. I mean, well, the back half of the week is my day off. My days off, so we're good.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
When we're recording this, though, by the way, I have this shirt on because tonight's the draft for the NBA.
Absolutely.
And
I was going to ask you about your Pacers fan.
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, we should have got a lower pick than 6, but whatever. So,
yeah.
Are you a fan of basketball at all?
Yes, favorite sport. Sport.
It's the best sport. So, no contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, do you have a team in particular, or do you follow players more?
So, my favorite team is Miami Heat. I've been a Heat fan since 2004.
We're beefing. We last couple years we've been
So I've been a Heat fan since 2004, and this year actually I was rooting for Golden State to win because that's kind of one of my secondary teams. I just like kind of how they function all together, how they built their team, chemistry, everything like that. So
I was hoping for Boston that series.
Yeah,
that
only been a nice one though.
Yeah, well, it feels weird because I feel like the Boston team felt like almost like an old school basketball team, at least like from the 2000s, just how the guys are built, and versus obviously Golden State, how they have all those sharpshooters and
the new age.
Yeah. So it's like it felt almost like a style clash,
Yeah,
that's what it felt like to me. But I was happy to see both of them in the finals because none of us expected that. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Phoenix, Bucks, like they're gonna come back, and maybe the Lakers." And no,
Yep.
Oh no,
no, it was crazy.
Yeah,
they actually were. If you think about I feel like Boston was kind of built like some of the older Pacers team, like especially like with the Paul George Granger kind of thing. Roy Hibbert, so that's kind of that's what I feel.
Well, I'm excited for more basketball, even though it just ended but the draft. But anyway, I'm sure everyone's like, "What do you guys? Why are you talking about basketball?"
Yeah.
But no, we're here to talk about the film journey. Of course, everyone who has seen these episodes, hopefully, knows that we go through our guests' film journeys from their earliest memories all the way to where they're at now. But before we jump into that, I actually want to hear what you've been recently watching. Anything pickups or any recent watches?
So actually, today I finished watching The Northman. Finally got through that. not bad, different, definitely
Yeah.
different. I do like those types of movies, but it's definitely different type of movie. Saying that I started the movie Beirut with John Hamm, so kind of halfway through movies like that that deals with like I don't know, foreign issues and things of that nature, and all those things. It's right up my alley. So doing that. I've been a bit backed up. I What else did I watch? So I'm the type of person that if I watch a movie and I don't really like it, I try to watch it again. So for example, I watched Sonic when it first came out. I wasn't a fan of it too much, and I kind of fell asleep for like 10 minutes. So I
Yeah.
gave it another shot like 3 days ago. I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah.
I try to do that here and there.
Have you seen the
But
second one yet?
I haven't seen the second one, but
Neither
I
have I.
actually heard good things about it. So, you know,
Seems like a fun. I remember I watched it before. I want to say it came out right before everything shut down. So,
hmm
but actually, I remember the Onion running an
yeah,
article
hmm
about people rushing to see Sonic before everything gets shut down, and
yeah,
I cracked up to that. So that's
yeah.
cool. I like that you at least think about rewatching something that just didn't click.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that could be tough sometimes with how many things we have in backlog.
Oh man, it's and like I said, I've there's certain movies because I'm not a big critic of movie. I try to really just kind of enjoy it for what it is. And there's just some movies like I've tried 3 or 4 times and I just can't do it. So I'm probably now at this point just giving up on it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many movies out there, and
hmm
I would like to say that I'm pretty laissez-faire about most movies. Like I can find usually
hmm
something about it that I enjoyed. I don't need to watch it
Exactly.
again per se,
hmm
but I know I was just having a conversation with a friend that like I'm the opposite with music though. I'm a
hmm
jerk when it comes to
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Like I used to work at a record store, so it's like I have
Okay.
this initial buildup of like immediately associating with certain types of people listening to certain
Yep.
types of music is like, nope, I don't want to. I don't want to mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, for sure.
but yeah, I'm cool with movies though. I'm like, hey,
hmm
if Jack and Jill is one of your favorite Adam Sandler movies, like I'd question it, but like, cool, whatever.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta
if you
float your
like it, you
boat.
like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Same way.
Well, any recent pickups?
So I did the Universal Soldiers. I picked up this week,
Nice.
and then I got Northman. I also, what did I buy? I feel like I bought something on Macari. Usually, like lately, it's just been buying like older releases that maybe I missed out on just to get. Um, but I kind of so each week I kind of stick with the still books for the most part, and then if there are some like random Blu-rays or 4Ks that I want, I'll grab. But I think those are the two most recent ones. Oh, I did get Ambulance.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw
I
that
still haven't
one.
seen that.
So I saw that in theaters. Fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. So yeah, when I saw that, as soon as I walked out the theater, I said, I'm definitely getting this on 4K.
I missed.
So
I wish I
yeah.
all saw. That's definitely a movie that was meant for the theater. So
Oh
I,
yeah.
I messed up there.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good. It could have been a little bit shorter, but nonetheless, I enjoyed it. For
Well,
sure.
Michael Bay isn't short ever.
I know
Yeah,
he's gonna drag it out a
yeah,
bit.
he will. He's like I got so much money, might as well just throw it, throw it all
Yeah.
on the screen and give me more credit. Yeah, but yeah, I,
Mhm.
I've heard some really good things about it, and I definitely
Mhm.
I heard it's like Old Bay, so a
Yep.
little bit more towards that. So I'm like, as long as you're moving a little bit away from the Transformers, like if you like Transformers movies,
Mhm.
once again, cool. I only
Yeah.
really they're fun, but also like they're
Mhm.
a mess. So
Yes, yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing about them. Yeah.
yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'll have to check it out soon. Definitely now that it's
Yeah.
out. So
No, they're good.
well, I think we'll jump into the questions that we normally do. But okay, so for the first question is, what is your earliest memory with film?
Ooh. So it probably is just like older. So I'm like an 80s, 90s baby. So TV shows, or not TV shows, but more like movies. Man, which movie can I say? Wow. I remember Goonies, but I mean I go a lot further back, but um Yeah, anything that's in the 80s and 90s, I don't know. I used to watch a lot of like movies here and there, and I have an older sister, so I'm like in her kind of time frame
Yeah,
too of looking
should
at
show
a
you
lot of
things.
movies. And so like I've probably seen it, as weird as it is, I've seen like the horror movies like Jason kind of early on. I don't know why, but I did, you know. So yeah, it's the movies were different, and then like theater wise, early '90s. I remember, the Jurassic Park, the Batman Returns, those things like that. But
Classics.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So did you go to the movie theater for those, and or like did you I guess rent more or?
So I really didn't rent when I was younger, and I did do theaters, especially like as a kid in summer camp. That's probably most of the time we went to the theaters. So all the movies you can think of in the '90s, I feel like we probably saw in the theaters. And so Jurassic Park and Batman Returns are probably my most memorable theater experiences. Like, absolutely love those. But I didn't rent a lot. I just saw whatever was on TV. I saw it, and then movie theaters like the big blockbusters, we would like go and see those as well.
I
Yes,
mean those are good ones. I mean, like to have those
yeah.
memories with. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I will say, like you said summer camp, right? I went to summer camp
Mhm.
like quite often, and this is bringing me back a little bit because I we went to certain places, like there was like restaurants that would play stuff, but we would also go to the movie theater as well.
Mhm.
So I haven't thought about that in a bit. So
Oh yeah, no, that's where everything was happening, because I feel like outside of summer camp, I don't know how much I went to the theaters. Maybe unless there was like a classmate, because my summer camp was actually connected with my school, so we're kind of there. But unless like a friend or a couple friends wanted to go, maybe for the birthday or something, I feel like most of it, at least my theater experiences early on, was in the summer. But my kind of movie viewing was just kind of at home
yeah,
primarily. Yeah.
I mean those are good memories to have. So you said your sister, did she expose you to a lot of that, or like, or just
Yeah,
in
just
proximity?
like her generation, because like she would watch things and I would just like be right there just watching. So everything from music to movies, and she's like more of a late '70s. I'm like early '80s, 6 years apart. So we're still kind of close, but there is some of those things. I do know one movie I remember. So my favorite movie is actually in the late '80s, but there was a movie called, and I always remember this movie, The Boy Who Could Fly. Have you ever seen that one before? I can't remember the guy that's in that one.
Hmm.
Oh man,
Sounds almost
blanking.
familiar, but
Yeah, it's really old, but that's usually like one of my first thoughts of like really old movies, and remember watching that way back in the day. Just yeah.
so was it those early memories? Was that like what one of the I guess the cornerstones for you to keep going with it, or did anything click later on, like in adolescence or young adulthood,
Oh, to like start collecting, or
or
just like
just like
in
just your
general.
enjoyment of movies in general?
Oh man, so it was very weird. So I used, like I said, summertime as a kid, I watched it, and then there was a period of my life for a couple years where I did not watch movies like that. I didn't go to theaters, and then I want to say, oof, probably around mid 2000s is when I picked it up again. Like I missed the whole entire first part of Marvel in theaters.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I wasn't even going to theaters. I wasn't watching the movies. And then when I finally start watching it a little bit later, then I start picking them up. So there was a weird pause. But once I picked it up, it was just like nonstop.
Now, are you talking about
Yeah.
like the Fox Marvel or like the MCU?
No, even the MCU.
Oh, even the MCU. Okay.
Like like I missed all the Iron Mans in theaters. First two Thors I missed in theaters.
Yeah, you can miss one of
Um
those.
yeah, I was like it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, or
Was the one
in
that kicked
particular, I
in?
picked it up. So it
Yeah.
was
Okay.
one of those when I start kicking in. So then I had to binge watch like all of the Marvels, and then finally get caught up. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
At least
back to like
At least you're
Civilization.
not like all the way up to like now. If somebody like finds it,
Oh
like,
yeah, no,
what do I even do? So
yeah, that's tough. Yeah, no,
it's intense.
yeah, yeah. So I've had, and it's weird because I've even had Like there's times like certain series like Star Wars, for example. I watched a good portion of Star Wars back in the day and was not a fan. Not until last year where I decided to like rewatch all of them. And then I was like, I understand why people are fans of this now. So I have like these weird periods that kind of move and shift.
The click. It
Yeah,
finally clicked. So
yeah.
do you have a couple favorites? Like what's your first three favorites in Star Wars out of the 9 episodes?
Ooh, what is it? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. So, wow. Wait, hold on. Let me think it. Let me look for reference. My memory is horrible.
You can get
What
you
is it?
will
A New
numbers help.
Hope.
New
No,
Hope.
we got
Okay.
New Hope. We got Empire Strikes Back. And believe it or not, I was such a fan of Rogue One.
Okay. Yeah,
I
we
was
can.
a fan of Rogue One for some reason, but uh, Phantom Menace wasn't bad. But I would definitely say a New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, definitely two, and then yeah, I'll go with Rogue One because it's a little
Okay.
different. It's a
Yeah.
little different.
So you got episode 4, 5, and 3.5. So
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
like 3.99 because it's like right at the right before 4. So
hmm
well,
So
nice.
yeah.
Those are good choices. I feel like mine's episode 5, but I know
hmm
that's kind of the standard answer. But I don't care. It's
Five was
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah,
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, how can you not? Right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, you're good on 4 as well because that's how it
hmm
started. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad that you finally embraced the Star Wars. But
Yeah.
obviously,
Better late than never.
yeah,
I
sure,
miss the fun times.
yeah. Did you like Obi-Wan? Did you finish that?
So I haven't finished Obi yet.
Okay,
Actually, I'm backed up, so I haven't even finished Mandalorian. I think I'm on episode 3. Like I started watching it and then got completely sidetracked.
that's what
So
happens anymore.
I need to go
There's
back.
so
Yeah, I
much.
need to go back and watch that. But I'm definitely gonna finish that because, like I said, I got into these pretty good. So
Yeah, well, Mandalorian. I mean, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's definitely
hmm
the best of the shows in my opinion. But
yeah.
anyway, I'm sure you'll enjoy the ride. So.
hmm
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
So going back, I guess, so it was like the mid 2000s is like when it like you started actually kicking it into high gear a little bit more in the
Yeah.
like in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of just kind of getting back to more so going to the theaters and watching movies, and that kind of spurred up until 2009, 2010 is when I actually then started collecting. But
That's,
prior to that, it was just like just watching it, like, oh,
yeah.
it's nice.
So did you get like just DVDs or did you go straight to Blu-ray?
No, so DVDs, and the funny thing is, so my sister apparently collected movies prior, which I don't even remember her having a collection. Not a big collection at all, but what kind of got me, it's a weird start, was in college, or secondary school and then college after that. One of my colleagues, like, he had like this movie night and invited everybody over, and he just had stacks of movies just laying next to his TV, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. So I was like, oh man, this looks nice. And I'm like, I do like movies.
Mhm.
And I always remember finding out about FYE because that's kind of where all this started. And the first movie, it may not be the first movie I bought, but it's the one that kind of I can remember just making me go crazy, was Red Sonja. Because I remember watching that as a kid so much.
Mhm.
And like for me, collecting started with a nostalgia of me remembering all those movies I used to watch. And then once I remember them, I'm like in FYE looking at it. It's like, oh, they have this DVD and this DVD,
Can't
and
stop.
it was going crazy. From that point on, it was, yeah,
Well,
it was wild.
I mean, you bring up a good point. I feel like a lot of us, if we collected early on, right, like as kids or something,
hmm
I'm sure there's that nostalgia. But I feel like if
Yeah.
you start collecting like a little bit later on in life, it
hmm
really should start off with that like, oh, what do I remember from like what's the
Yeah.
stuff that I really enjoyed back then,
hmm
just stuff you grew up with like Jurassic Park or you know
Yeah.
things all like that. So that's cool. And then now FYE is dominated. Now you're getting FYE steelbooks now.
No, so I don't even hardly buy from FOE too
Yeah,
much
too
now.
expensive
It's
now.
like, yeah, it's like I do Best Buy here and there. I do Target depending on what the release is. And then I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, I got into like some of the import steelbooks.
Hobby or something.
Yeah, so that's been running my life now, for the
I get
past
it. Yeah.
5+ years, But yeah,
Well,
it's
you're in
fun.
a space that I'm not in. Like I'm not usually in steelbooks as much. So like, but
Oh, yeah. Stay out of it, man. It's
there's so
bad.
many niche like things. It's like I mean once I started like boutiques, like that was
Hmm.
one of my recent questions. I asked people what their first boutique Blu-ray was, and I was like, this was the start of the downfall of all my money that I didn't have.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
this was
Oh
it
yeah.
was normal. It was normal before that. It was just like, oh yeah, I'll just buy a Blu-ray of Mallrats or something, or just looking over
Hmm.
here like, oh yeah, I'll just buy the other guys or
Yep.
Uncle Buck. Or just then I'm like, oh yeah, just standard things, and then all of a sudden it's like I got to get the 4K of RoboCop because
Yeah.
so
Yep.
it all became that. So when did the transition from like DVDs and it turn into Blu-rays, I guess?
So I would probably say around 2007, I think. And that actually came about because I bought my first like flat screen TV. I remember going to Best Buy like on my lunch break and looking at the TVs, and it just looked completely amazing. So they used to always show, I think Troy, it was on it, and you see the
Mm.
water scene. The blue back then with Blu-ray was just, my mind was boggled. So I was like, I gotta get a TV. And then it's like, oh, do Blu-rays. And then, it just started to snowball.
That's a good showcase. I do remember those times at Best Buy, and like Circuit City was still around back then. So
Hmm.
I remember
Yep.
seeing Troy on a million screens like that.
Oh
I
man,
remember that. Uh,
greatest selling point.
and yeah, it's a good movie too. I think it's underrated. Not enough
Hmm.
people talk about it, but
Oh no, I love that movie. Yeah.
yeah. And Brad Pitt's from where I'm at, so
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
hometown. So
Yeah.
he sneaks in here sometimes, and then we hear about it
Yeah.
later, and like, oh, Brad was in town. So,
Hmm. Yep.
but yeah, but that's cool. So when did like this whole collecting, I guess, start becoming like a problem, or your whole life, or like just when did it start turning into like what you're doing now? With the channel and
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff.
So I'm actually new to kind of the YouTuber and Instagram world, because YouTube I started last year, and I think Instagram maybe like 2 or 3 years. But prior to that, I was just kind of. It's funny, when I first started collecting, it wasn't until, like, I would say I started seriously collecting in 2010. It wasn't until another year or so that I realized there was a community of people that actually collected. Like I went on YouTube and I saw these other individuals. I'm like, holy shoot! And their collection was like 3 times my size at this point. So I'm like, there are other people that collect. Like, this is cool. So that probably made it worse, because now I'm looking at their collection and I'm
Oh
getting
well,
ideas. I'm like,
comes
oh, this looks super nice. And so I think from that point on, of when I really figured out that this was actually something, um, it just like built up even more interest. And then, you start learning about different things. I started learning about criterions and then still books, and then I was like, oh my gosh. And you got to get this. And even when I learned about it, it's kind of like I knew about it. I didn't know about the sales and things like that yet. But once I start figuring that out, then it kind of was like a runaway train at that point.
now
You
it's a
know?
mainstay, and that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're in the space now. Like you said, it's
Hmm.
still fairly new, but I mean, I wanted to bring up one of the segments on your show that I think is just
Hmm.
like fantastic. Welcome to Heat Street. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks, man.
that's cool. Like I know that it would be hard for me to think about what that is, for at least for me. You
Mhm.
want to explain a little bit about what that segment is?
Yeah. So pretty much what it is it's kind of picking your grail pieces. And I know a lot of times, because we have like so much stuff in our collection, for some people it's hard to say, hey, what's your top 5 or top 10 things? Um, but it's usually what are the items in your collection that either it means most to you, or it has like a backstory. Maybe it's one of the hardest things you can get. Um, and then you kind of just like show it off. You just kind of like talk about it, and let everybody else see it, because again, like, there's a lot of people that collect in so many different ways. But I feel like it's kind of, I love that, to see other people's collection. So it's really just showing off like your top pieces, you know. Some people kind of, when I first started, they were kind of thinking like, does this mean like it's the most expensive or something? It's like nothing to do with that. It's
Gotcha.
whatever
Yeah.
personally to you that you find to be like that grail piece that if you had to only keep 5 in your collection, what would that be?
A lot of them are behind me right here. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
You know,
I could think of it, but I really like that segment and seeing. I like that you kind of clarified and kind of expressed it to where it's every individual has a different take on what that means, right?
absolutely. Yep.
So it definitely that's one of the reasons I started this whole series right here is to just
Mhm,
to communicate with the different content creators and people who
mhm.
are in the space and seeing where they're at, because I feel like everyone's got something different to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So I guess transitioning from like obviously all this growth to where you're at now,
Mhm.
what are some like some of your favorite films that you like?
So my favorite film, and I'm very excited because next week it's getting its first Blu-ray upgrade since 1989. But that is Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and Red Fox. So it's kind of like a comedy drama movie, and I don't know if it's kind of takes place in kind of the 1920s, maybe Prohibition era type thing, but I think it probably has one of the best comedic casts ever assembled. Like it's absolutely insane. And it's not for the cast to be what it is, it's not overly funny. It has its moments, but I think this was when Eddie Murphy kind of wanted to, still have humor, but kind of still play a little bit of a serious role. So I think overall how they shot it and the cast, like that's like my absolute favorite movie. Another one that I absolutely love is Sicario.
That movie is so good.
So I said like the my most memorable moments in theater were Jurassic Park and Batman Returns. The feeling that I had back then for those movies, I didn't really have that same feeling until I saw Infinity War and Sicario in theaters. When I went to Sicario, I was sitting at the edge of my seat like this for the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
movie, just mind blown. So that's definitely top. What's other good movies? I love movies like I like Shutter Island. It may not be my top 5, but I absolutely love that movie. I like those kind of psychological thrillers that at the end of the movie you're like, wait, was he non-spoiler? Hopefully, if you want to see it,
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah. Was this real or?
yeah,
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 yeah.
So stuff like that, absolutely loved. And what else? Like what is obviously Infinity War. That was an amazing movie. That's my favorite Marvel movie. It was just
I mean,
insane.
hard not to say that's one of the best. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 2 days after watching that movie, I was still like, "What did I just see? Like, this is
right?
mind boggled,
And
mind boggled."
you caught up in time too. See, so
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
got
mean,
there.
yeah, I can only imagine the people that were like invested in it from day one. What this whole ride kind of meant to them, and
Well,
it was insane.
I was a little bit behind too on it. I mean, for me, I
Mhm.
want to say like I saw Captain America and Thor in theater, so I want to say it was like
Okay.
2009. I think I missed the second Iron Man and uh
Hmm.
Incredible Hulk or just Hulk. I can't remember which. No, it's Incredible Hulk. Hulk is just Eric Bana. I remember
Right,
now.
right, yeah. Okay.
Which is actually you should rewatch it if you haven't seen it. It's pretty good. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I had missed it, and then like I think it was the Avengers, like the first Avengers movie, that actually like it clicked with me. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
I see where all this is leading to, and
Yeah.
like it's like I'm in. So, but yeah,
Hmm.
ever since then, I've watched it on opening night. I have a group of friends who get the tickets.
Hmm.
I'm like, you get the tickets, I'll be there, I'll pay, and
Yeah, absolutely.
I those nights are unforgettable. So
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, but yeah, those are good choices, and I actually
Yeah,
remember Sicario really well too when I saw it in theaters,
yeah.
because I was like the whole
It
time
was crazy. It was crazy.
that
The
freaking border scene.
I
Oh
was just about, yeah, the
yeah,
border was crazy, and then the tunnel when they finally went to the tunnel. That score then was like so dreadful. That sound was so dreadful. I was like, this is next
Anxiety.
level.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
it's
I
just
mean,
next level.
Villeneuve, he does a really good job of that. I mean,
Mhm,
I've enjoyed every movie I've seen of his in theaters. It's an
mhm.
experience. So
Yeah.
yeah. Man, that makes me want to ask you, like, what are some of your, I guess, favorite movie theater experiences besides that? Do you have any others that you remember?
Um. So actually, recently, I saw oh my gosh, Top Gun Maverick. That I like. I don't go into theater watching a movie with any real expectation. I just want to enjoy it. I walked out that theater saying this movie was great. Like
Hmm.
I really need to go back and watch the first one to determine if I like this second one better.
I think it's
'Cause
better.
yeah, I'm still on the road, but I'm like, this was really good. Other than that, uh, I watched what is it, Tom Hanks and Bridge of Spies.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Love that
A few
movie.
years
That
ago.
was a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like 5 years ago now. Actually, jeez.
Yeah. I saw which one? I think I saw Captain Phillips in theater, which
Okay.
I absolutely love that movie. But yeah, I funny thing is I haven't seen a lot of horror movies in a theater. I think like legitimately maybe the last horror movie I saw, oh, forget about the Paranormal Activity, but I saw The Descent, which was years
God,
ago.
oh man, that movie scared the
Years
shit out of
ago.
me as a kid.
So yeah, me and my sister went to the theaters. It was nothing to do. It was like in North Carolina, it was nothing to do at the time. So I was like, oh, let's go to the theater. She's the worst because she is not good with jump scares. And she's the type of person that when she jumps, you jump.
Oh, does she? Oh,
It's bad. And that movie has tons of those moments.
hmm.
So it was an amazing movie experience to see that specifically. But yeah, I've seen a good amount of movies in theaters. Obviously, the pandemic has kind of stopped that a bit, but prior to that, I was going, pretty consistent.
Yeah, I was similar. At least the last couple of years in particular, I've been a
Hmm.
lot more theater going. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess, well, not the last few years, but a few years prior to with
yeah.
the pandemic. Then yeah, but yeah, I definitely, it's hard to get back into a rhythm. But I mean, Maverick would
Hmm.
definitely help it. So
Oh
if
yeah,
anything, so. Um,
yeah,
what about any like favorite actors? Do you have any, or actresses?
yeah. So favorite actor, I would do Denzel. I love his filmography; is crazy, and actually Forrest Whitaker. So he's there's something so awkward about him, but it just hits. Like, he's and I'm big on actors and facial expressions. So like he plays these very sometimes awkward roles, but it
You brought
hits.
up
It's
Rogue
so
One.
different.
That's one of those awkward
Yeah,
roles.
Rogue One. He also was in one of my kind of go-to movies when I don't know what to watch is Vantage Point.
Yeah, I remember that
Absolutely love
movie.
that movie.
All that
Yeah,
in
I love
theaters.
that movie.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it can annoy people because it's like it rewinds and you're like, okay, this is too much. But yeah, he's pretty good. He's decent. I like that.
Yeah. Those are yeah, those are good actors. And yeah, when you brought up when you brought up Forrest Whitaker, I immediately went back to Rogue One, and then I'm like, Bugali. That's what I remember him saying.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? What are you're
no,
going
he's
way too hard for this, but that's fair.
yeah,
Star
no,
Wars.
he's good. I enjoy that. And then like from a comedic standpoint, Vince Vaughn, anything Vince Vaughn is in, I think he's hilarious. So, and it was actually good. He was in I think it's called Dragged Across the
Jared
Ground or
Cross
something.
Concrete.
Concrete with
Yeah.
Mel Gibson. So it's kind of cool seeing him in that kind of role. I haven't seen Brawl in Cell Block. Is it
99.
99? I
That's
haven't seen that one yet, but I heard it was good.
I besides now I'm blanking on the western that director did right before all those. It's like right there, of course. And I'm
Mhm.
looking over at the sea of movies and I can't can't spot it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's very good. I think
Hmm.
you would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch I can't remember, man, now all the titles are just lost with me, but he
Hmm.
did this last year, I think, where he did like it was like a slasher, but he like switched bodies with it was like a Freaky Friday movie. It's actually really.
There's a movie I can remember him in. I haven't seen it though, but there was some movie I remember him being in, but I haven't seen that one yet. To see which
Find out.
Okay. Yeah, but he's a good one. I think another good one that just with Forrest Whitaker that kind of doesn't get talked about. I guess I don't know how many people seen it. Was The Experiment with him and I think it was Adrian Brody. I think.
Yeah.
That was that whole the whole concept was a little bit crazy, but how he acted was like just insane.
Dude, insane, yeah.
Yeah,
The movie is Freaky, by the way. So I should have got
Freaky,
it.
okay.
It's Freaky Friday, but it's just called
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like right there. Well, cool. What about directors? Do you have any favorite directors?
So probably three are like my heavy hitters. Obviously Steven Spielberg. I mean, it's insane. Like when it's more of like that, he does like I kind of separate him into like that fantasy world kind of somewhat, with the Jaws, Jurassic Park, Ready Player Ones, Martin Scorsese and Spike Lee. Those are probably, I want to say, my top three. They make kind of different movies, so it kind of gives me a different flavor.
Yeah, I mean, all three of those directors, like you were saying, like they have different flavors to themselves. Like as in, like like they're not just known for one thing. Like they can expand into a lot of different things and do pretty well at all those things. So
yeah.
I actually I've seen most of Spielberg's and Scorsese. I have quite a bit of Spike Lee catalog on my shelf that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But I've seen the heavy hitters at least.
Yep.
So and I quite enjoy his work. So I always as a Pacers fan, I have to always give him a little shit for Reggie Miller and just do this a little.
Oh yeah, the choke.
Yeah, I gotta give him a little bit of that. So but I do like Spike though. He's a lot of fun. He's definitely very very particular. He's nobody like him.
Different. No, he's very unique in how he shoots his movies.
Now the question is, the next one that's kind of related to that is, if you could be in any of those directors' films or anyone outside of that, who would it be?
Ooh, if I could be in one of it probably would be a Spielberg movie. Probably a Spielberg movie.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Which one? I don't know. Maybe Jurassic Park. That's kind of such a different thing. I'm a sucker for Jurassic Park.
Would you just be like a park employee or something in the background, or do you actually want to be in the movie like as a main role?
Yeah, I would like to be a main role. It doesn't have to be a huge main, but I can sit in the laboratory and do what Samuel did. He restarted the whole system and brought it back.
Have a cigar in his mouth the whole time.
Yeah, say, haha, no, and just kind of I don't have to deal with the dinosaur so much, but
yeah, help out a little bit, or be like, I'll go check the breakers real quick. So.
Yeah, just keep it calm, keep it safe. Let everybody else deal with it. Or like Ready Player One would be like amazing.
That's a movie that like I know people are hit and miss with it, but like it's a lot of fun. Like I it's nice to see all those references. So
I was about to say, for me, it's like one of the craziest pop culture movies I think ever. Like it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. It's almost like you have to watch it multiple times just to spot all of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if you could list your movie or your life as a movie title, what do you think your life as a movie would be titled?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know.
Maybe that's it.
Because it's got to be something dealing with comedy and, well, not action, but maybe drama. So like, what's he doing now? Because things are always changing me. I'm like calm, but then it's like I have such a comedic, crazy side of me that I just like to have fun all the time. So it's like, what's he doing now? It's one of those questions.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's I don't know about you, but just based on what I just heard, it like there's so many I mean, everyone has different personalities and stuff, but I feel like this is obviously a personality of mine on like YouTube and stuff, but like I guess outside of it, like whoever, depending on who I'm around, I'm a big goofball. So like
Yep.
I just constantly poking fun of things and making sure people around me are just laughing or just rolling their eyes.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
is that kind of
Definitely.
similar?
Oh yeah. I'm like, part of my life I felt like was like super bad. It was just crazy. Like you're just doing funny stuff all the time. Just, but you still have that lighthearted, not really taking anything too serious, for the most part.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's a good spot to be. I like the title. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Um, kind of like putting a lot of this like together. Just thinking about collecting and where you're at now, and like into the future too. What has this medium in general how has it changed your worldview or your outlook on life?
Um, I feel like it's well, one, I think that it provides a kind of space for just not me, but just in general, people to just kind of like relax, calm down, kind of enjoy something, cut your brain off sometimes. And I think that it also, I mean, when you see a lot, at least me, when I look at a lot of this stuff, it kind of makes me think of different things like, is this really how it is? Or, because I like to hear and see different perspectives. And then, sometimes you can take things and gauge from it and kind of, make your mind up about certain things. But for me, I think it's just a space of like, kind of I call it a space of woosah. It's just a comfortability space where you can kind of escape and just, you know, after long days of work and crazy times, you can kind of throw in a movie, throw in a TV show that, kind of you can always go back to and just enjoy it. And then, like I said, when I joined this community, it was so amazing to meet so many different people. Like I've met so many people over the past year, just through this.
Mhm.
So I think it's like a gateway to everything. It's like unlimited stuff here.
Yeah, and it just never. It's one hobby that just keeps on giving because I feel like we're in a good spot physical media wise. I mean, obviously there's
Yeah,
the doomsayers, but I don't. I mean that's been
no,
we've heard about that so much, but like
yeah,
they're gonna keep going with this stuff for a bit.
yeah, yeah. When they start talking about like physical media and dying stuff, like the way I took it was, especially like when we see how the downsizing of stores and stuff like that. I'm like, but if you really look at it, a lot of these stores were holding a lot of back inventory that was just not selling.
Yeah, yeah,
So essentially they kind of just move that and say, hey, here's some of the newer stuff, and we'll just keep it as such. But I mean, people are still buying.
oh yeah,
It's and as long as it makes revenue for them, I don't see it really stopping anytime soon. Even with the new streaming, and it makes sense. I mean, if you the way I look at it too is because when I buy my movies, I use my digital copies, and most of the time when I'm looking at movies, I'm looking at it through Vudu on the TV. So I rarely sometimes come and grab my disc, but I mean, if you look at the price of a digital copy on day one, which made a price like 19.99, and you look at the physical copy, you
like
can get a 4K for 27. You get the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the
and
digital
the
copy,
digital,
and then
yeah,
the artwork. So for me, it's kind of like,
no
and then
brainer.
yeah, God forbid your internet sucks, and you won't be able to watch that. Physical media helps out for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, you bring up. I mean, we could talk another hour for about physical
Hmm.
media and streaming and all that stuff, but I do think it's interesting because, like, everyone is a little bit different. Like for me, like I have a friend that I sell my digital downloads to. Which, if Voodoo, if you're listening, sorry, but I gotta make a living, right? I
Yep,
don't make any I don't make any money off that, but it's more of helping them out. Um,
exactly.
but it's nice to see that you can utilize different spaces because I mean,
Hmm.
that's the same with like streaming. It's like, there's obviously that's an option, and the more options the
Hmm.
better because not everyone can
Yeah,
jump in on this, right?
exactly.
This is an expensive hobby, you know, um,
Oh yeah.
especially with how the world's going right now. It's like this is getting harder and harder to do sometimes,
Hmm.
but you're gonna get
For
more
sure.
choosy, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but well, this has been a lot of fun. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add?
No, man, this has been great. Thanks for having me. I'm always up for talking physical media, and because this is a great community, and hopefully it continues to grow. We get some, new people in, and anyone kind of just share their thoughts, ideas, and outlooks on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I was able to finally talk to you and hear your film journey, because that reminds me of a lot of my upbringing, like summertime camp and all that stuff. And so I appreciate you coming on. And do you want to tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Jagoda Blue 7 on YouTube and Instagram. Been kind of slow with the postings, but I'm definitely gonna be picking them up soon. I had the Heat Street out, and I'll be getting some more stuff out.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this. I mean, I hope to join on a Heat Street soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I got to figure out what I want to bring. I think I'm going to bring Pat. I think I'm just going to bring him with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a good bear. He helps me out. But yeah, I want to say thanks everyone for checking out this film journey. This is a lot of fun. So I hope everyone enjoyed it and can comment in the comment section and let us know and have this conversation continue. And if you're interested in doing a film journey, if you're a content creator or a subscriber, I'd love to talk to you and have you on the show. But yeah, once again, I hope you all enjoyed the conversation. Give it a like, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I'm not Jones.